What's up, everyone? Welcome to Bluegrass State of Mind, the show where three college roommates talk life, sports, and all the ridiculous things that happen in an apartment we like to refer to as Room 302. We're bringing you stories, hot takes, and the kind of late-night debates that probably should have stayed in the group chat.
So grab your headphones, sit back, and get ready for a wild ride through our past college life, sports, and everything in between. Let's get into it. This is Bluegrass State of Mind.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Bluegrass State of Mind. As always, if you are tuning in on YouTube, make sure you go hit that subscribe button. Literally, all it does is it just informs you all when we release episodes. If you are following us on Apple Music, or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever it may be, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, give us a like and a follow. And yeah, when this episode's being released, it'll be on Friday. So one day before America turns 250 years old. But before we get to that, we have a congratulations to give out. Mr. Mason Del Rowland is an engaged man. Let's give a clap for the young man. Oh.
Thanks, fellas.
Mason, was you nervous?
No. We've been together 8 years, so there was really no nervousness at this point.
8 years, 2 kids later, and we finally got engaged. I'm proud of you. I know it was a long time coming. Just happy for you and Brittany on the beach. Did everything go as planned? I've not got to talk to you in detail. We talked a little bit about it. I'm sure Kolton's talked to you, but didn't drop the ring in the sand.
Did drop the ring in the sand. No, none of that. It was supposed to happen on Saturday because that's when we were going to get our family pictures. And then obviously my birthday was Friday, and she was like, let's just do it on a day. So she messaged a photographer and we got it moved up. So it did move up a day. But other than that, everything went smoothly.
Yeah, well, that's always good, not dropping the ring. I know there's videos have you seen the lake video of them driving on the boat and the dude drops the ring in the lake? It's just that has to be the worst feeling ever. Well, hey, tonight's episode has got a lot of mixture of stuff. We're going to talk a little bit Kentucky, not a ton. Going to talk about the 4th of July, a little bit of the NBA, specifically highlighting LeBron Waka Flocka James, obviously with the biggest name in the market, I guess you could say right now. Then also a little bit of World Cup. And then we're going to close it out with a little game that we have prepared. So a lot of different things right now. So stay tuned with us throughout the whole episode. But let's kick things off with a little bit of Kentucky news. Fellas, I'll be honest with you. I don't have much to report. We said that we was going to talk a little bit of the Nicola Costa Rica, however you want to say his last name. But shout out Treg. But, there were talks at one point, that we were the leader. And then all of a sudden, those rumors started getting louder with Michigan coming up. And then you have Dusty May who leaves Michigan. And then all of a sudden it's okay, Kentucky's for sure right in the mixture of it and got probably the front leader. I think it was reported by 247 Sports that that it was pretty much a done deal. Crystal ball is what they're saying. Well, now as of Tuesday, Travis Barham of 24 Sports has said the crystal ball prediction is now in favor of the UCLA Bruins. So a lot of back and forth on this. Who knows by the time that this episode is released on Friday, which I believe that's whenever his decision has to be made due to him playing in the World Cup. He may be already announced. I don't know, maybe on Thursday he announces, but the reason why I say I don't really have much to report is because I just don't know how much this affects our current roster. Kolton, do you think that it really has that big of an impact? I know we got on here on the record and said it's a great addition, but I think you was the one who brought up on the last episode, hey, this was just going to be kind of the icing on top of the cake. We have our roster. It was just oh, here's another guy we didn't even know about. So we're just, I guess, sum that up in maybe a minute or two. You and Mason share your thoughts on it, just because I just don't think it's really much time for us to spend on this subject, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think it's so obviously he's going to be 17. He's young. He's not even going to be eligible for the draft. So it's a 2-year deal regardless. And the way they act like he could be a possible lottery pick next year. But they're assuming he's going to come, grow, get stronger. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be someone that you immediately come in. He's going to be like a top 5 guy on your team for the current roster we have anyhow. So maybe that's why UCLA entered the mix there, is he might be looking at the chance to maybe play more there. I feel like our roster is pretty complete. I think, he might get his chance here and there if he came, but I think because of where our roster stands before he decides, I think he's probably looking at UCLA and thinking, well, this year I could probably try and make an impact on UCLA, where if I go to Kentucky, I'm probably sitting and learning most of the year, where UCLA, he could actually showcase some of his skill and then maybe transfer and get a bigger bag somewhere else next year.
If he can even stay alive with Cronin out there at UCLA. I mean, I don't know who in the world would want to play for that man. I mean, I'm all about like getting the best out of your players, but he's not like
intense.
that Dan Hurley. Like he's a different. I don't know, Mason. I mean, like, are you sad about this, or does it even bother you? Like, I'm really not even bothered by it, really. Like,
no, I'm not either, because like Kolton said, this year, I think it would have been hard for him to fit with the style of players that we already have, right? Like a lot of guys we have kind of play that same position that he does. So I think it would have been hard for, how Pope likes to sub, right? So I think it would have been hard for guys
to
I
haven't even thought about that.
Get in rhythm, him just trying to rotate all these guys in and get in there and get their minutes. So I honestly think it's for the best. Now, I mean, obviously for the next year, who knows? He could have been a good piece for that next team, but who knows what happens within a year. And from what I've read, I think the momentum kind of shifted because one of UCLA's assistant coaches is a coach for the Serbia team. So, I mean, people are probably going to chalk it up as a Pope whiff. I don't think that's necessarily true, just because of the connections he has with that coach, from over there. So,
and that's another good point, because I was thinking of that later while preparing for this episode too. Is like, there are going to be those few that are like, oh well, Mark Pope missed out on this one. Like, look at the circumstances. We have a roster. We have plenty of positions to fill that spot. So I wouldn't necessarily think that this is a whiff, like you said, Mason. Also, just while we're talking about it real quick, news came out. Donnie Freeman having to sit out. Kolton, wow. I mean, talk about like, okay, what would have it been like? And I obviously hate it for the guy, but glad it's not us, because I just feel like that has been the storybook for Mark Pope the past 2 years. I know that we get on here and we critique him, but that's with the roster that he has. But I mean, we've also admitted like he just hasn't had the best of luck with injuries. But wow, what a great whiff that was, I guess, as you could say.
Yeah, if that would have happened, we would have had to immediately get rid of Pope, and not because of anything Pope done, but there had to have been a curse. Like he had to have been cursed. That made non-contact injury, not even in the season, out for the season.
Gosh.
On one of the high recruits. We'd been done. I mean,
what was it?
Achilles.
Achilles, yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Somebody asked me at church, and I said, I think it was Achilles. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, ooh. So I mean,
you never know about those.
But Patino was like, he said something like he'll be back. No, he won't be back. Like he said, he's out for the season, but he said something. I guess like Freeman will get a medical red shirt, obviously, and like the plan is for him to play at St. John's next year. So we'll see if that happens.
That's just a hard, like, I feel like 5 years ago before NIL, that was something you could really, like, well, the way the landscape and everything changes so fast, so quick. Like, you can't even guarantee that he's going to be a Johnny,
Yeah.
Well, let's moving right along. Like we said, we just don't have a lot to report. I promise you all, we will get into Kentucky football. I got to thinking about that too. It's just, I feel like we all don't want to overkill it, before the season even gets here. But we will. I would say probably looking at August for sure is going to be when we start really ramping up on it, because we're excited. I mean, we text each other about it. We don't report on it just yet, but we will get there. So stay with us, football fans, for sure. BSM from the stands. Kolton, I think that you have us for tonight.
Yeah, I do. So this week's BSN from the stands. So we had a comment on one of our reels on Facebook, and this guy, he goes, and this was in regards to, I think when we were talking about Milan or one of the freshmen, and it was talking about Pope's recruiting. But he said, now let's not be all two-faced here. When we brought Mark Pope in, what was we saying? No high school recruiting, use the portal better for results. Now people have flipped the script on Pope. Oh, now he has to recruit better, more freshmen. You know, Pope struggled some with recruiting. And I just read that and I was like, you know, that is kind of true because we did go through that era where not me, but there were several fans complaining with all the freshmen we were recruiting.
Mhm.
Right? We, you know, people wanted the portal more. They wanted an older team. They were tired of all these younger teams because they felt like when we got into the tournament, having younger guys was what was ultimately costing us from winning it all. And so when Pope comes in, his first year, I mean, it's all like super seniors and seniors out of the portal. And he didn't even, you know, obviously come in late. So it's going to be tough to get a lot of high school recruits. But then the next year goes and he doesn't bring in, he brings in a couple guys from Kentucky. And I mean, Malachi, you know, I felt like it was a pretty good pickup. Jasper didn't quite work out here. He might work out better is he at Oregon, right?
Yep.
He might work out better in Oregon. And so, but now, you know, he has, and then even in this class, he didn't land a freshman, right? He does have one committed for next year, a top freshman, which is going to be really his first true freshman recruit. And yet we've kind of knocked him in the last, you know, year and a half. And I think part of that's because he wasn't also getting the elite transfer guys more so than like, hey, because if you're bringing in 4 of the top 25 transfers, I don't think we're necessarily knocking him on these freshmen. But if you're not bringing in them, then yeah, it's kind of nice to have some of these top 10 freshmen in the country. So I don't really know, but I mean, he is right. I mean, I do think that as a fan base, we've gone through those eras where we were like, I'm like, why are we bringing on all these freshmen? Like we want older guys who can finish. And truth be told, that first team, we won a few games because we had the older guys. Right, the Duke game, the Gonzaga game, some of those games we won because we were the older team, where freshmen killed them. That had normally been us. So I don't know what y'all's thoughts are, but I mean I do agree that the fan base probably has its roller coasters on that subject specifically, where we're like, man, we need older guys, veteran guys. I want this guy, and then you have part of the fan base is like, why aren't we getting 4 or 5 of your top 50 freshmen in the country? So, I mean, what do y'all think? Do you think that we kind of are we too extreme on one side or the other? Either one of y'all can take it.
Yeah. I mean, I think part of that, people just saying that comes with us not performing and getting the results we want, right? Like trying to find something, okay, let's switch it up, let's do something different. But I think the biggest thing that I look at here is that was everybody's biggest question with Pope, right? Was can he recruit? Right? Like even if it is the freshman, even if it is in the transfer portal, and like you mentioned, Colton, I think the biggest thing that we haven't seen yet is him landing those elite guys. And yes, he did land Milan this year, but let's be honest, it was kind of last minute. You know, how many different teams had the money left to spend on what he was going to be paid. So, not taking anything away from Mark Pope, like obviously it's great that he landed them, and he did get a freshman right after that. So maybe he's finally found his mojo. But I think at this point, it's still fair to sit here and question his recruiting just because of the people we've seen him miss on and not be able to land some of this elite top talent. Like he started to get a couple of those, but let's see if he can continue moving down that path. So I don't necessarily have a disagreements with, you know, we don't need that many freshmen or we don't need this many transfers. I just want you to go out there and build the best roster you can. Right. Like I think you got to have a fine balance and a mix in between those.
Yeah, that was the word that I was going to use, balance.
Yeah.
You know, when thinking of I obviously don't like bringing him up when I don't have to, but this is directly towards what he was saying. You know, Calipari, when thinking of his first years, it was all that elite freshman, and we did get to a national championship. But if you really look at that roster, we brought a little bit of, experience. Now, I wouldn't say like a lot of experience, but we had experienced players with that roster, and Deron Lamb, Darius Miller, like it was Terrence Jones. Like there were some guys who had that experience, and then you started to see a shift where it was really getting to a lot of freshmen and really relying on those freshmen and sophomores to get the job done. And I think that, Cal adapted to that. I mean, seriously, you look at after the COVID season, there was a mixture of transfers. I mean, Antonio Reeves, Kellen Grady, Oscar, but then also we had freshmen. We had Rob Dillingham, we had Reed Shepard, and I'm sure I'm missing some.
Case and Wallace.
So we did do that. So I think that Calipari did adapt to that. He did. We just failed to win in March. And whenever we really needed to actually win. So looking at Mark Pope, when thinking of that, it's just finding the balance, and it goes more to what Mason said as well. Like you look at just the recruiting aspect of itself. Now I know he ended up getting hurt, but like the Donnie Freeman, that was one that we went out for actively, brought on campus, didn't get. Rob Wright actively went out, brought him on campus, didn't get. Tyron Stokes actively went out, brought him on 2 visits, didn't get. So like I don't really necessarily care so much about it has to be this many freshmen and this many guys in the transfer portal. For one, here's what you're probably looking at. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. When you're looking at your like go-to elite guys, new blood, probably going to be freshmen. Reason being is because if they are in the transfer portal, that's for a reason. They was not good enough to go to the NBA, so that's why they're still available. Now, you can also make the case, well, what about your Walter Clayton Jr.? He was in college for 3 years. I mean, it took him a while to get there. So for as far as new blood, yeah, that's going to be your Tyron Stokes, your hopefully Ryan Hamp, like it's those guys. But you still have to pair those guys up that can go and get a bucket and be that guy. Very few of them, with those mature guys that have been there, done that, and be like, hey, buddy, like, this is what we're going to do. I can calm you down. Like, so the comment itself, as far as shifting, I don't really, I get where they're coming from, but I can't buy it, because I think what it comes down to is what Mason said too, again, is that it was just Mark Pope was not landing the recruits. From my opinion, I think we all can collectively agree, it wasn't necessarily if it was a freshman or a transfer. It was just in general, he wasn't landing the big recruits until he got Milan under some circumstances that helped us go our way. And then the Ryan Hampton, hopefully we can be building off this. So, I mean, do you totally disagree or agree with any of it? Like, Kolton, where you? I know you gave a little bit of your opinion on it, but I feel like there may be more that you was wanting to add.
No, I agree. I mean, the best part about that championship team, while yes, obviously we may have had the greatest freshman to come through college basketball, I mean, can arguably one of the top 5 freshmen for sure, and Anthony Davis, Deron Lamb being a second-year guy, and Terrence Jones, and you had that veteran staple with Darius Miller being a Kentucky boy and being there for many years, and then the guy that kind of did everything, right? So he was like your veteran. And so I obviously I think that's your best combination, but I'm almost scared that like it's almost felt like Pope. And now, granted, he tried for Tyron Stokes, so that made me happy that he at least went after him, because there for a while I was almost scared like he not trying to go after these guys anymore, and maybe he's realized that like, hey, we still need these guys here, like. Because you're right. A lot of these guys that are transferring, they're good players. And yes, some of them stay because maybe they're going to be early second-round picks and they can now make more in college than they would be being an early second-round pick.
Yeah.
But your studs are going to go to the NBA. And so there's not a just ton of those type of guys on the market.
I mean,
And
take
so if
this
you
year's
want a
class, for
stud,
example.
yeah, I mean, for sure. And the thing is that in the first 2 years, and I know Otega-Oweh was great for us. And I thought about this the other day. I saw where, Chris Adams podcast, and he got on BBN Unfiltered, and they were talking about how like this was going to be. We've yet to see a Mark Pope team without Otega-Oweh. So, this is going to be. There's no Otega-Oweh. It's going to be Mark Pope is going to have to find like who's going to be that guy. Right, Oweh was that guy, but in a different way than some of the other that guys. Right, like he could lower his head, he could get the baskets. He finally, at the end of the games, he would average 20 to 25 points, but it was always different. Right, he didn't seem like a
takeover.
He didn't seem like it seemed like there was a difference between him and Acuff Jr.
Yeah,
right, even though like they could both put up big numbers. It didn't seem like they were the same type of takeover guy. And so I'm hoping we haven't had that the first 2 years. I don't know that we have that on this team.
Maybe
Wilkins. Maybe. That's what I'm saying. And it's such a mystery, right? We've talked about that. But I'm hoping that's kind of where his mindset goes, is that we got to go get one of those guys going forward each year at least.
Yeah. No, it's only the future will tell us that, we'll find out real soon. All right, let's get into our next segment. Happy birthday, America. 250 years. America, baby. All right, so here's how we're going to kick this little segment off. I've got a list of 5 things for you all. I want y'all to tell me if it is a fact or false, okay? This is about the 4th of July. Here we go. The Declaration wasn't signed on July 4th. While the United States Declaration of Independence is dated July 4th, 1776, most delegates actually signed it on August 2nd, 1776.
Probably true.
Fact or false?
Fact.
That is a fact. Correct. So it actually was, most of them was signed on August 2nd. So we don't even have a real birthday. That's right. All right, here we go. Next one. 3 U.S. presidents died on the 4th of July. John Adams and Thomas Jefferson both died on July 4th, 1826. Exactly 50 years after the Declaration was adopted. James Monroe, who, Monroe County, we're named after, I think, maybe, hopefully. James Monroe also died on July 4th. Fact or false? So 3, and not just 3 random.
Well,
John Adams,
like that.
Thomas Jefferson, and James Monroe.
That's such a random thing to be false. So I'm going to say fact. I mean, what did you just random? That's just a random.
That is correct. That is a fact. Yes, that is a fact.
Such a random thing.
I had never heard this.
I mean, why would I have heard? We just make
hey, this is just some interesting stuff about that most people probably don't know about the 4th of July, whether it be fact or false. All right, here we go. Third one. Fireworks originated in ancient China. Around 2,000 years ago, people discovered that heating bamboo caused it to explode. And later, the invention of gunpowder led to the first true fireworks, which were believed to ward off evil spirits before becoming part of celebrations.
Facts. I think that is fact. I think I've heard somewhere that China was like where fireworks originated.
Yeah. That is a fact.
Yeah. I thought that was one I actually somewhat knew. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Your 4th one. Americans eat about 150 million hot dogs on Independence Day. That's enough hot dogs to stretch from Washington, D.C. to Los Angeles more than 5 times.
How many people were in the U.S.?
Like 3-point-something billion in it.
Okay. That's a fact. 150 million hot dogs. I probably eat 4 by myself.
In Kentucky alone, there's probably going to be.
Fact or false?
500,000.
Wait.
That's enough hot dogs. Listen to this. That's enough hot dogs to stretch from Washington, D.C. to Los Angeles more than 5 times.
I mean, that's a lot of hot dogs, but we have
150 million.
I feel like it could be higher.
150 million.
That's
That's
a lot
not
of hot
even.
dogs.
30-point-something billion people, right? Or is there 300 million people? I don't know. Maybe I'm
I don't know.
I'm joking.
I mean, does everybody go to a cookout? I mean, I'm just like,
yeah, but I'm
We
sitting there
have-
thinking
Okay.
it may just be
Okay,
300 million in the country. You just said the country.
342 to 349 million people in the United States.
Yeah, nah,
So
I'm
that's
gonna say
almost half the
false. I'm gonna
population.
say false.
A little less than half.
I'm gonna say false.
I like it. False.
Okay, that is incorrect. That is a fact.
A lot of hot
Americans
dogs.
eat.
Everyone's eating it.
They love them hot dogs.
have
Told
to-
you I could eat 4 by myself.
I mean, I get it, but man.
All right, last one. Fireworks send thousands of people to the ER every year. Around the 4th of July, it's an estimated 10,000 to 15,000 people are treated for fireworks, and about 10 to 20 deaths occur each year on fireworks incidents.
I believe it. 100% fact.
That is a fact. So they were all 5 facts. That's pretty interesting stuff. I didn't know about the 4th of July thing. Seriously, I think the most intriguing thing, just because like it's not random presidents, not that if you're a president you're random, but you know what I mean. Like I feel like they're like those are all like big time names that most people know.
I don't think I knew that John Adams and Thomas Jefferson died on the same day. Like same day, same year. You said that, right?
No, 50
Oh,
50 years apart.
I was gonna say, how is that even possible? I don't think.
No. It was 50 years apart after the Declaration was adopted, but they did both die on July 4th. And so did James Monroe.
I just feel like I would have. Anyways,
and that was not on ChatGPT. That was on Google. So hopefully,
Hmm.
I didn't get that one off there. All right, Kolton or Mason. Mason, are you looking it up?
yes.
Okay, well, while you're looking it up, Mason or Kolton, you said that it wouldn't be America unless we talked about the World Cup right now. I don't think we need to spend too much time on this because we also want to get into the American tradition. I really think that we're going to love that little segment that we have. But real quick, kind of, you can just pretty much say where we're at this point in the stage for the America USA World Cup team.
Listen, I'm locked in. I don't know what Dillon's talking about. We're locked in on the World Cup soccer right now. The World Cup happens once every 4 years. The USA has its best team that it's had in a long time. We didn't even win, let alone, I don't think we even scored a point in the group stage last World Cup. But this year, the USA is getting to host the World Cup on its home territory. America's 250th birthday is going on, and our USA team, as we are recording this, just won the first game of the knockout stage and is advancing to the Sweet 16. So,
but it's not good.
No, but we did just get a red card on one of our top scorers. We did finish the game strong without him. However, he will not be eligible for the game against Belgium on Monday. That is going to be a tough climb.
They can appeal it. I'm sure U.S. is going to appeal the red card. I doubt it gets overturned.
So
but
hopefully,
you would think that with it being on American soil, that we could get some appeal.
Yeah,
come on, this is America.
I don't know if y'all have seen it yet, but there's a video of Messi doing the exact same thing in this World Cup, and he doesn't get a single card for it.
Well,
like he doesn't get a yellow, he doesn't get a red. It doesn't matter. You got to call it.
Like LeBron, he shouldn't get that.
I thought you said
when you're the.
Did you say who is Messi or it's Messi?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I said it's Messi. I said when you're the GOAT.
I thought you said who's Messi. I was like, listen, I know you've been following the World Cup, but let's calm down. Like,
honestly though, like for real, I have followed the World Cup, yes, but do you all actually watch soccer outside the World Cup?
No, but
okay.
I don't.
I bet I could name somebody from almost every. Like I don't.
I know
watch
Messi
it, but
and Ronaldo,
and
that's about it. I
could probably name somebody from every team left in it.
Yeah, no,
I know the face, the guy from Norway, big blondie.
Yeah, I don't watch
Yeah,
the Premier
Holland.
League or I don't watch the different leagues, but the Olympics and the World Cup, I will tune in for just because they're representing
Yeah.
the country and not the
Yeah.
thing. But I mean, I will say the best, a good part of this World Cup is one. I think the international players and the different international teams are realizing how amazing America is, like how good our infrastructure is, that all of our stadiums are unreal and they're able to hold this. Like a lot of these places have to build certain stadiums to host World Cups. Like we're putting them in our football stadiums.
Yeah.
Like
Well, the
we're
stars are
doing
starring out
and the
too.
stars are starring out. That was going to be the other thing I said. You've got the Messi and Ronaldo and the Holland and all these guys are all Kane from England. Like their top players are all shining right now, so that's making it even better. Yeah, man. I mean, it's been an exciting thing. I'm excited for this USA team. I mean, I hope that they can at least get past Belgium because I think if they get past Belgium, that's where they're going to run into. You're going to run into
Like Spain, maybe.
Yeah, you're going to run into a stud matchup the rest of the way.
Yeah.
But to get to the Elite Eight would be a very good accomplishment for USA soccer. And who knows at that point? You never know. Soccer is a crazy sport too. So we've seen some big upsets. So yeah, I'm excited. I've enjoyed the World Cup. I know. I mean, I don't watch soccer a whole lot outside of it, but it's been exciting for me.
Mason, I got two things. One, soccer is confusing. I mean, I like it. I like the way.
I don't know if you watch it.
No,
like,
no.
I grew up playing it.
Okay, but I'm just saying, as far as like when to attack, how like going back and forth, like I can't, like I'm just like trying to figure it out.
It's a very like strategic and patient type of game. But
yeah, and then the offsides, I don't know. I'm not really even tried to dig into that, so I don't even because I just don't watch it. Number two, if you disagree with me, false. You're not correct. I don't want to hear anybody in the sports world talk about basketball, football, as in our American football, about flopping. If there is one thing that I have learned while watching this, they are a bunch of floppers. And in any sport, it is just you flop now. So like I was sitting there, I was literally tonight, we was at the Mexican after church, and I looked at my dad and said, look at this. I said, anytime that they get touched, they fall down on the ground and act like they're dying. I mean, like, what, what's this persona around I feel like basketball that is just all flop. I mean, like they're really selling it too. But hey, I feel like that's the way it is with everything. All right. So, Kolton, you sent the lineup talking about, we both kind of talked a little bit about this, but with America, celebrating its birthday, what are the most American things or American traditions? That's kind of what we had sent out, and I feel like there's a lot of different ways you can take this. You can take it as an American tradition on the 4th of July. You can take it as just any American tradition. I've got about 4 or 5. Mason, let's go one at a time around the table here, starting with you. Mason, what is, and like I said, you could take it any way you wanted, but what was your first one for like an American tradition?
Yeah. So one of the biggest things, and this is probably just like coming back to my sports brain and, being a sports nut and always watching sports. But one of the things for me is always got the national anthem and then those jets fly over, right? Like every time you see that, if you've ever been there in person, like it kind of gives you cold chills a little bit. The national anthem's going on, those jets come flying through real low. So, I mean, when I think of something, that's one that just pops in my head.
I like that. Colton, what was one that you had? Now, would you say that's more in just reverence in just like the everyday sports, like America, like just that's a part of us, not necessarily just geared towards like the 4th of July, right?
Yeah. Okay. Just like an overall American type thing. Like when I see that, I think America.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I would say, a common obvious one is just your family cookouts, right? Like that's just going to be your obvious one. I mean, you're going to have a family cookout for the 4th of July where you're going to have the hamburgers, the hot dogs, the barbecues, and the family games. Like I know for us, like my sister, we have a wiffle ball game. Like that's what we do. But I know kickball, I know there's volleyball, there's different things that are played. A lot of people do pool parties. There's a lot of things but for the 4th of July specifically, like a family gathering and a cookout barbecue is going to be, one of your most American tradition things.
Yeah, and that's really, I think, more centered for the 4th of July. Not saying it's not a tradition, but just like in this I guess on this tape maybe more so that. Mine, yeah, you're just gonna take it you as is. It's not has nothing to do with the 4th of July. But I was sitting there thinking, I was like, what's one of the most American things that I can think of? That I feel like I see a lot of and in a part of, and that is Mexican after church.
I was gonna say family dinner, eating
Yeah.
after church more so
Yeah.
than just Mexican after. I think
No,
I don't think that's as common outside of Monroe County.
No. It's absolutely is like anytime that I have been to a church camp, or anytime I've been to visit another church, not just in like the state of Kentucky, like
Yeah.
it is an Southern for sure American tradition. Maybe North, I don't know about Midwest and West, but sure, if you want to say church or dinner after church, you can say that. But I'm going directly Mexican after church.
Hey, you would say it's American tradition, and you're going to eat Mexican.
Because that's a good point. I'll give that to you, but I would bounce back and say it's because it's not really Mexican food. It's American Mexican food.
Sure.
I've heard plenty of people tell me like there's a big difference between real Mexican food and the type that we eat. Let's just do I guess snake
Go
draft
ahead.
this thing. Okay, so
Yep.
I'm gonna go again. My next one is going to be Friday night sports. I mean, whether it be Friday night football, Friday night basketball, baseball, soccer, I mean, whatever you want. Like, more though, I mean, I'm just going, basketball and football is kind of where my mind goes. But just American tradition, like that, just like, especially in the small counties, like that's where mine is geared towards when I'm thinking of that. And again, when I thought of this thing, I wasn't thinking more so 4th of July. I was just really thinking about just America. Like that's good old America stuff right there. So that was my next one. Kolton, what you got?
Yeah, no, I was thinking on the 4th of July. I was going to say the hot dog eating contest.
Yeah.
It's become like a known thing, and every year the hot dog eating contest is on July 4th, morning of it. So, Joey Chestnut, shout out.
That
go.
man he's up there with Michael Phelps. I mean, I feel like you would draft.
You would draft him in a top 5 greatest athlete. So, I mean, yeah, for sure the hot dog eating contest.
What you got, Mason?
I'm going to take an obvious one here since nobody's taken it yet. Obviously, fireworks, right, on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing here? We're halfway through the draft and nobody's taking fireworks. So I'm going to go fireworks. I don't know if y'all's families, but I mean, every year, my family will always buy our own fireworks and usually watch the city fireworks too, and then kind of hang out. Kolton, you already mentioned the grilling out and the pool and all that stuff. So, yeah, fireworks just kind of ties into all that.
I don't really do the I couldn't tell you last time we actually went and bought fireworks, just because here in Tompkinsville, Cleary's puts on a phenomenal show.
Yeah.
It's free.
Yeah.
Like it's on the golf course. Kolton and I and Chant and all, we just usually just go get our golf carts and get a good seat there. And also I want the people I do celebrate the 4th. Like we do a cookout thing at my mom's house. Like we do this stuff. I just was wanting to take it from a different perspective. Mason, do you have any more that you want to share?
Not centered around 4th of July?
No, whatever you want. I mean,
Okay.
it's
I have another one. Just going back to sports, like, of course, that's like where my mind always goes to, but tailgating. Like when you think about like college football and
that was one I
tailgating
had.
and like a
Even though I don't
tradition, like
tailgate.
I'm sure other countries do that for sporting events, but nobody does it like SEC football,
Yeah.
so.
I could put back some H2O for tailgating. Yeah, that would be. Kolton, that was a good one though, Mason. I did think of that one. Do you have any more?
Yeah. The American songs, the Greenwood, the whatever. I mean,
I know you're talking about who Trump brought on, the one that sings
him
"I'm proud to
the
be an
different-
American."
and Toby Keith, American Soldier.
Yeah.
We'll
put a boot.
Yeah. I mean,
Lee
that song-
Greenwood.
America,
what is Ray
Yeah,
Charles,
the
America
same.
the Beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's where. Also, you can add in like the 7th inning stretch of every baseball game. They play
Mhm.
America the Beautiful. So, I mean, that's very, very American there.
Yeah. I will stick with my little trend here just because you are listening more 4th of July stuff. I'll just stick with mine. County fairs, another American thing. Like just small,
Yeah.
you got the derby, you got the truck pull, tractor pull, you got the rodeo, like that is like a rodeo, like that ties into it as well. I do also want to add in there it's not my favorite movie of all time, but it's one of my favorite scenes of all time. And I don't know. I've always
Is it
pictured
from The Sandlot?
it's
That's
from
what
The
I was gonna say.
Sandlot.
When
The
they
Sandlot, when
play
they
on the
go
court.
out.
I mean, Sandlot is my favorite movie.
I
of
know,
all
and that's
time.
why. But that is just a
Yeah.
great scene,
It
and
is.
like it just puts you in your feels. So happy birthday, America. All right, let's get into a little bit of GOAT talk. LeBron, Waka Flocka James. Just kidding. I know we don't want to talk about the GOAT status, but let's talk about LeBron James. LeBron James has informed the Los Angeles Lakers that he will not be returning for the 2026-27 season. He will play for a record 24th NBA season, but he'll be with a different team this year. So he has been with the Lakers for 8 years. He won the 2020 NBA championship in Los Angeles, which I also would love to talk about that sometime, about how some people say it was a bust. It don't even count. I mean, like
Mickey
that, I would
Mouse
really,
ring.
yeah, I would really love to, because I've heard NBA players say that was the hardest because of everything. We're not going to get into it, but like there was no home court advantage. It was just straight up playing against each other. I think there's a case for, actually, I know there's a case for that. However, let's just stick to what we're talking about. So LeBron James teams, he has played with the Cleveland Cavaliers twice. First one in for the first 7 seasons of his career. Then he went to the Miami Heat for 4 seasons. Then back to the Cavaliers for 4 seasons. Now the Lakers 8 seasons. So his longest stint was actually with the Lakers. I feel like that's kind of weird.
That's kind of crazy. That is
like,
crazy to think about.
I didn't realize that, honestly.
Yeah. And in 19 of his, like the past 19 seasons, he has had a max contract. I've watched a lot of stuff lately about Rich Paul, his agent, and talking about how like this next move is about happiness more than anything. It's not really about the money. Like obviously, and I truly believe that. I do. Now you may call it ring chasing. I don't know. Sure, if that's where happiness comes for him, but I don't think that this move is going to be about money. I don't. And I also think that it's a move that he really doesn't have a plan. I mean, he literally, I don't know if y'all have seen the video where he told Rich Paul, he said, hey, go talk to every team in the NBA. I want to hear it all. Like there's no like, now obviously I'm sure there's some teams in the back of his mind that he would like to maybe go to, but he's willing to listen to all. So with that being said, going into next season, looking back at what he'd done previously, LeBron James averaged 20.9 points, 6.1 rebounds, and 7.2 assists per game. It's not like you're getting a guy. Now, obviously, he will be 41. It's kind of looking at like, okay, what is he going to bring to the table depending on the roster? But Kolton, Mason, there's 3 teams everybody's talking about. One being the Dub Nation Warriors, his hometown Cavaliers, and then Pat Riley, past team Miami Heat. That's kind of where all the rumors and all the speculation is coming from. Mason, is there a team that you, out of those 3, think is the best fit? And where is your feelings at with the others? And we can kind of bounce back and forth on this.
I think out of those 3, best fit is probably, and you may disagree with this, but I think it's the Cavs.
I agree.
Just
I agree.
because
1,000%.
Yeah.
If you was going to say the Warriors, I was going to say I disagree 100%.
No.
But go ahead.
No, I mean, you look at you got a star in Donovan Mitchell. You got the bigs and Mobley and Jared Allen. You got the shooters and Strus. You know, you've got everything around him that he can kind of sit back and still be that leader. But you have the guys around him who can go score and help him out and be on defense. I just feel like you look at the Heat, you look at the Warriors. You know, yes, you have Steph on the Warriors, but outside of that, you know, what other pieces do you have? You look at the Heat. You got some big guys who are going to be really good defensively, but you're going to struggle scoring the ball. Yeah, you're going to struggle to score. Yeah. So I think the best fit's the Cavs. And, you know, the question I've been asking myself is, does he really want to leave the West Coast and be that far away from Ronnie, and Bryce, and they have a house there. They've kind of been established there for a long time now. Does he really want to move all the way back across the country? So that's the only thing that keeps. I think he probably knows that Cleveland's the best place, and he probably does want to go back there just to kind of finish it off. But who knows?
Talk about, a storybook ending. That's kind of where he was at with St. Vincent, being at Cavaliers for the first 7 years, then going back and bringing them a championship, what they desperately wanted, and then ending their career there. Kolton, Mason kind of already alluded to it with, talking about, can he make the switch over as far as the move? He better. If he's wanting to get to an actual championship and not possibly having to see a Anthony Edwards in the first round, Timberwolves in the West, or, that's my biggest thing, Kolton, is looking at who do you have in the West? The Nuggets, the Timberwolves, the Spurs, the OKC Thunder.
Yeah.
The list goes on and on. And then you look at the East. Who do you have? The Knicks and
have 76ers now.
The 76ers and the Pistons. But we didn't mention out in the West, the Thunder.
Heat?
Yeah, but the Heat don't worry me.
They're going to be tough. They're still going to be tough.
You still have Giannis and Bam. They're not
No, I agree. But when it comes down to that, though, okay, Kolton, what would worry you since Mason really hit on just why it would fit well with the Cavs? Let me ask you this. Why do you think, because you agreed, why do you not like a LeBron paired up with a Heat with Tim Hardaway, Bam, Giannis, Andrew Wiggins, and a Bobby Portis? Why does that not gel well with you?
It's the same way y'all did. I think you would want the guard play. I think LeBron would end up having to play more point guard than he needs to be playing at this age. Granted, he's a great, his IQ is very high. He's going to make the right decision. He don't need to be the main point guard at this age, though. And I don't think they have a true point guard with that lineup. And yes, obviously the shooters around. However, the more I think about it, if all three of those guys are on the court at the same time, physically, I do not know how you get a rebound over those guys. I just don't. That has to be one of the three most physically gifted players as far as their physical attributes in the league, all on the court. Can you imagine just looking over and them all standing next to each other and Bam,
and
Giannis and LeBron? It would. It would be a scary sight. Yeah. So, don't get me wrong. They would be a team no one would want to play, but their downfall would probably be ultimately they run into someone that goes small and they shoot a lot of threes.
Right. Can they just get enough points?
Can they keep up with it, in that form? If someone hits 10 to 15 threes in them in a game, can they win those games? I don't know. I don't think they'd have any trouble scoring in the paint, but I don't think they have it. Now, granted, if you told me that they were going to go out and find another shooter or so, yeah, I would say the Heat then. I think they just lack one. I don't think they're far off, but I do think
Davion Mitchell as their starting point guard. I just don't think that's going to cut it. Even though LeBron plays the point, you still got to have somebody in there who's going to be able to run things and get him the ball. Switching gears though to the Warriors. I want to spend a little bit of time here. Listen, I get it. Box office, LeBron James, Steph Curry. I do. I get it. As a LeBron fan, I don't want to see it at all. I would lose a little respect because that's kind of been his, not kryptonite because he got over it, but it's been his what's the word I'm looking for? The guy that has went back and forth
with
his
rival.
Rival. Yeah. And I know that he respects Steph. They played on Team USA.
Yeah,
they're they're friends. And even Draymond Green. Draymond Green didn't opt into his contract but I just hope that doesn't. I hope the media doesn't let that drive and the what could be, because honestly, look at these guys' ages. How old is Steph? I don't know, but I know he's not young. Draymond,
I think he's 37.
37, 38.
35,
LeBron,
36 is my guess.
Jimmy Butler. We're talking about now. You give me this team 10 years ago, okay? Russ Rock and Roll. But Kolton, who?
Yeah,
this team, it's just, and honestly, it's just not a good fit. Other than Steph, who else is going to be able to?
And I'll be honest, I don't know that LeBron would mesh well with Steve Kerr in an NBA setting. LeBron likes to kind of put his word into things, and I don't know. I just feel like him and Steve Kerr might butt heads a little bit, but that could just be me.
I mean, I think they could be all right. I just don't think across an 82-game season.
Exactly. They'll be good. I think they would.
I think they would be solid. If all those guys are healthy, but you have like Porzingis, they signed to a 2-year
deal. He's got
deal.
Porzingis back. That is true.
And if he's a healthy Porzingis, then you've got your center. But odds are Porzingis is going to be hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, and you don't have a whole lot of backup. Like, now, granted, they just drafted Yaxel Lindenberg, so he kind of plays the same position as LeBron, which may mean he could be a good backup and learn a lot from LeBron. So you may have a guy that you can develop there, but you don't have. I mean, Steph and Pods is your only couple guards.
Buddy Hield?
I don't know. Moses Moody, I think, is still there.
Yeah, they thought about, though, if they could get LeBron, they would have to get away with Moody. And honestly, I don't know if you all seen this too. Like, they was talking about how, could they get rid of James Harden? At this point, why would you need James Harden on that team?
On the Cavs?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if his contract...
Did he not sign something?
I think it was more of a...
They talking about extension, or they were talking about like a contract that was keeping there a couple years.
But I think it was more of like a word, like, I will have you at your word. Like, but then, it's LeBron James, that word. I mean, is that... I do want to mention this too, when thinking about the bet, Mason, I don't know how this would work. It wouldn't. But in actual reality, the team that is like the perfect fit for LeBron to get a championship, who's missing that key piece at like the 4 spot, veteran. They need somebody. Who's a perfect fit for him? And Kolton would hate it, but I would be totally fine with it.
Who, the Spurs?
The San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah.
I mean,
I thought about that too.
At what spot do they have that needs to be filled there?
I mean,
it's that spot.
Yeah. I think so too. But I don't hear anybody. I mean, I feel like that would. I think they need another. I think they need another. I think they need a go-to guard scorer. I don't think
Dillon Harper.
I feel like he's becoming that.
If he develops, but I think that's what they lacked is they had Brunson, and Wemby's not that type of guy. Like, he's 7 foot. Like, he can't move like that. But the Knicks had Brunson
to go
get a bucket.
I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah. Do what?
Didn't the Spurs get Tobias Harris earlier?
From the Pistons?
They did get Tobias Harris. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good pickup.
Yeah.
I think, though, what people forget is, I know people who don't like LeBron, at least most of them will respect this and agree to this, is of how much LeBron elevates everyone around him.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he makes everybody so much better. Like, Shumpert. J.R. Smith,
go look at the Lakers' record this year after the season. Just look, see what their record is.
So,
this coming year?
Yeah, I know they've gotten rid of a lot of people, and it's a completely new roster. But
hey, listen, they may be better.
No,
I think they'll be better because I think they have a true inside. I mean, you got Ayton and Kessler. Like, that's 2 solid bigs. They haven't had that the whole time LeBron's been there.
Other than AD. And that year they won the championship with AD, Howard, and what's the guy who was hilarious? Oh, what is his name? JaVale McGee.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm serious. We need to debate that sometime on about the Lakers championship win. But is there, Kolton, while we got it, let's go ahead before we get into our game. You shared your thoughts about the next biggest move is the Jaylen Brown. So go ahead and unpack that real quick.
Yeah, so obviously Jaylen Brown got traded this season finally, who probably is a top 5 two-way player in the NBA. Truthfully, two-way player. And he got traded to the 76ers. Obviously, there's been some gripe there with him and the Celtics. I think he's been wanting to be the guy. He's made some comments that's kind of made him unfriendly, but he got traded to the 76ers right before this podcast, or for this recording. It looks like he got traded for Paul George, 2 first-round picks, and 2 second-round picks, from what I could tell. And so everyone that I've read, Jeff Goodman included, the Field of 68, everything, they're like, this was a terrible trade for the Celtics. The Brad Stevens panic. This is not what they're used to seeing out of Brad Stevens. Because on paper, when you look at it, you're like, oh my goodness, the 76ers now have Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, and Jaylen Brown. Right, so you've essentially got 3 young, in their prime type guards, and one of the best big men when healthy in the NBA. And you're like, man, how are you going to stop this? I still believe that the Celtics won this trade. And the reason I say that is because Embiid has yet to show that he can stay healthy. And I think Brad Stevens knows that. And I think Embiid is a year or two from being one of those guys that no one kind of wants, right? He's kind of almost like a James Harden, except as a center, to be honest with you. James Harden hasn't had those type of injuries, but he's kind of like a guy that, like, he's a star,
he's
but
close, but he can't get it, but wants the money for it.
He's a star, but is he a championship star? And so I think he's a year or two away from being out of Philadelphia. I think Brad Stevens saw that Maxey and Edgecombe is the future of that team. And they're 1 or 2 more young players and maybe a free agent away from really making some noise for 4 or 5 straight years. Well, now you've took away 2 first rounds and 2 second rounds from them. And the fact is, I don't know how they're going to be able to pay Maxey and Brown. And Edgecombe's going to, though, if he keeps ascending, he's 1 or 2 years away from getting that type of contract too. And so I think Stevens knows that. So I think one of those guys are going to not be there. And suddenly now you've only got 2 of those 4 that I named. You don't have 2 first-round picks anymore, and you don't have 2 second-round picks. But you know who does? The Celtics, who can continue growing with your star Tatum. You can get younger, you can get more deep, and you can even trade those picks now for even a younger, maybe less expensive couple guys that are somewhat stars. I personally think the Celtics won it. I think Brad Stevens is playing. I trust Brad Stevens a lot. I think he's really good, and I think he's playing chess, not checkers.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things we'll just have to watch play out, because obviously I can see the Sixers being really good with that roster. A lot of it's just based on health for specifically Embiid, and can Maxey and Jaylen Brown both find a way to play together at that 1-2 combo guard position? Mason, do you have anything before we get into our game on that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I think it's they have the potential, but don't necessarily see it panning out. And like you said, Colton, it's going to be hard to pay all these guys here in a couple of years. So they're going to kind of be in a predicament. I didn't realize, I just looked up too, like they got LeBaron Fallon, which, you know, who knows? He could be one of those dynamic type guards in the NBA.
I forgot about that. That was one of those late rounders.
Yeah, and so I mean they're guard heavy, you know, and so we'll see. But I think they have the potential. I don't know. It all rides on Embiid being healthy, obviously.
Yeah. All right, last segment of the night, we are going to get into a blind ranking I have prepared for you two. Like doing these blind rankings, pretty fun. This one I got to see. It popped up on my phone. I was like, man, I really like that. So I created my own of the same topic. Here is your title for your blind ranking for tonight. Your blind ranking is going to be ranking the most difficult golf shots. So you and Mason will collectively blind rank these. 1 being the hardest, 5 being the easiest. All right. Your first one is going to be a 230-yard par 3 over water.
Oh, gosh. It's got to be up there.
Got to be not.
Is it like an island green or like?
I knew you was going to ask. I knew you was going to ask me that. It is not an island green.
Is it just like water right, water left? Because that makes a big difference for me.
I mean,
you've got water in front of you. You've got water in front of you. 230-yard par 3 over water. I don't want you to think of it as here. Like, let's not.
I mean, I know I'm hitting driver, but
you're hitting driver, and that's probably your best club.
Honestly, you're right. You're right. I mean, I'll be honest with you. If I know that I can go a little deep too, like I feel like I can get it online for sure. Because like we're 17 at Air Course, you can't miss anywhere except short.
I didn't want to make it an island green, so it's not an island green. It's just 230 par 3 over water.
I'm
That's
go
what
2.
I was going to say. Yeah.
Let's go 2. We'll go 2 in case there's something crazy. We're going to go 2.
Okay. Your next one is going to be a flop shot, short-sided over a bunker with a thin lie.
Oh. Yeah.
Thin lie
it's going to be a tough one to get close. I mean, I'm going to say at least 3. I mean, those are tough to get close. I mean,
I love a flop shot just because that fits my swing path so much, like outside in. The tight lie is what threw me off. Like if he didn't say tight lie, I was going to go like 4.
Yeah, same. I vote 3. I'm going just in case.
Just because of tight lie.
In case he goes into like a plugged bunker or something like that.
Yeah. All right. So you've got the 230-yard par 3 at 2 and the flop shot short-sided as 3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay, your next one is going to be a 60-yard bunker shot with a back-tucked pin.
I mean, for us, that'd be tough because it's not something you hit every day. But I will say, if you actually play good bunkers,
They always say ain't the hardest. Don't they say the hardest shot is like 40 to 60-yard bunker shots?
To get close. Yes,
I just feel like it's not harder than the 230-yard par 3 over water.
No, I do think that if I hit it in, like if I had a par 5 and I'm in there after 2, I feel like I've still got a decent chance of putting it somewhere that I can still make par. So I'm not going to say
4.
I would say 4.
Yeah,
at the best. Yeah.
Okay. A 180-yard shot from the deep rough with no good lie to a pin that you cannot see. So imagine it deep lie in the rough. Like I'm talking like not a rough that you see, like a rough that like I'm thinking of like when you hit it, it's like grabbing hard at your wrist to a pin you cannot see, like over a hill.
I'm still sitting here not thinking, like I'm still in my mindset thinking, can I par it from that lie? Yeah. I'm not sitting there thinking, am I going to throw it to 2 foot? Because like I'm not doing that on any of these shots. But can I par it still? If there's no, you didn't say anything about water or anything, I'll go 5.
Same. I agree because I'm just going to try to smash the 7
I'll go
as far as I can get it up there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go 5. I mean,
all right, your last one's going to be a greenside bunker shot plugged lie.
Yeah. Let's go 1. Yeah. I'm no good out of the plug. I'm no good out of the bunker.
I'm great out of the bunker. I love playing out of the bunker.
Wait. I love how Cohen's like, I'm not good at bunkers, but you put me at a 60-yard bunker with a back tuck pin.
But that's why I'm better.
Parring that.
Because why is that? Because I send it so far. I promise I've got a better chance of putting it on the green for 60 yards than I do next to it.
I think y'all done pretty well on your list. You got 1 as the greenside bunker shot plugged. 2, the 230-yard par 3 over water. 3 was the flop shot. 4 was the 60-yard bunker. 5, 180-yard. I thought about throwing in there, but I was just like, I don't know how difficult if it was just on a regular, for me it would be. But I was going to tell you all water on both sides, tee shot with a 50-yard wide fairway. Like, for me, it could...
That'd be number 1 for me.
I'd say 5. I ain't worried about missing the fairway.
250 right down the middle.
Yeah, I ain't worried about the fairway. Like that thing 10-yard flying.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Okay, Bulldog, man. Talk that talk. Must be nice that he's going to be able to put that into practice at the member guest, unlike me. So let's...
Shots. Just a little silent shot there.
While we're on the conversation, I want for the world to know, Mason and I, member guest partners. He's a member at his country club. I'm a member at my country club. I was going to go be a part of his member guests. He lets me know, sorry, dude, can't do it.
We already have vacation scheduled.
And I was like, all right, well, you can just come down to mine. And then, all buddy, and sorry, can't come to that one. Okay. Well, so, yeah. Anybody need a...
I mean, but there was someone that did win Mason's country club member guest. Was saying,
Bulldog.
What was your handicap?
Dove City +2.
I'll get you started.
Oh, man, I got to hear that. All right. Well, hey, for those who are still with us, we appreciate y'all. Thank you. And as always, go Cats.
Go Cats.
That's a wrap for this episode of Bluegrass State of Mind. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Also, be on the lookout for our social media pages and be sure to follow them. We've got plenty more stories, insights, and conversations coming your way. And if you really loved it, make sure to share it with a friend. From the hills to the hollers, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, keep that Kentucky spirit strong.